Hello there folks, and a very warm welcome back to What's for Tea. It's lovely to see you again, and I hope that I find you very well indeed. So today I've made a wonderful batch of this very naughty Millionaire Krispy Square tray bake. It's a wee bit lighter than traditional Millionaire shortbread because obviously we're using the Rice Krispies instead of shortbread. So this is everything that I'm using here. This is sweetened condensed milk. I've got some butter. You can use unsalted or salted, it's up to you. And then soft dark brown sugar as well, and that's going to give it a lovely rich deep flavour. And then some milk chocolate buttons as well. I like to use the buttons because I think they melt a lot easier and quicker. Then obviously your Rice Krispies, whatever brand you prefer, it doesn't matter. So go over to your cooker. You want quite a high heat, sort of medium to high heat to begin with. You want to pop in your butter followed by the sugar and then the condensed milk as well. So you want to bring this up to the boil, but make sure everything is nicely stirred together and nice and smooth. And you want to let this boil away for a couple of minutes. The longer you boil this, the chewier and thicker it's going to be. So you don't want to overdo this for this recipe. You do want it a wee bit looser than normal. So I would say no longer than 2 minutes, or else you're going to end up with toffee. So 2 minutes, and then just turn your heat off, give it a good stir and set that to the side just to cool ever so slightly. And then we're going to add about a third of your caramel to your Rice Krispies. You want to add just enough to bring these together so that they stick together when you press them into your tray. You don't want to add too much to this because we don't want this like concrete. You just do want to add just enough so that it sticks together. So grab your tray. Ideally you'll be using a 20 by 20 centimetre tin. Just make sure it's lined because it's going to make it so much easier to get out of your tin at the end. So pop your caramel Rice Krispies in there. You just want to press them down with a spoon into all of those corners and make a nice flat layer. I like to smack mine with the back of a wooden spoon. It helps to compact them down a wee bit better. So pop this into your fridge for about 15 minutes to chill, and then you can come back to your caramel, which will have cooled down quite a bit by now. Just give it a good stir to loosen this up, and then just pop that straight on to your chilled base, just like this. Very, very easy. Now instead of moving this around with a spoon, because you're in danger of disturbing all of those Rice Krispies underneath because the surface layer will be a wee bit loose, I just like to tilt the pan around because this is going to, give you minimum disturbance of those Rice Krispies underneath. You are going to still get one or two floating around. That's going to be unavoidable, but I like to do it this way. I find that this way works best, but you can of course just move it around with a spoon if you prefer, but it doesn't take long. Give it a wee bang just to make sure it's nice and even on the top. And again, you want to refrigerate this for about 20 minutes to half an hour until it sets on the top just like this, and it'll be lovely and glossy. The last thing we're going to do is melt our chocolate buttons or whatever chocolate you are using. I just like to do this in the microwave. It doesn't take long, 20 to 30-second bursts, and just give it a good stir around to make sure it's nice and smooth and loose, just like this. So pop this on top of your chilled caramel, and I'm going to use my spatula just to move the chocolate into where I want it to be. Very, very easy, and again, it'll only take you a couple of minutes. Just make sure it's right into those corners and get this as even as you can, just to make sure everybody is getting the same amount of chocolate in their square. So back into the fridge with this until it sets. This might take you a wee bit longer because of the warm chocolate, up to an hour maybe. I left this one overnight just because I made this quite late, but it will take you around about an hour to set properly, and this will be really easy to come off of your greaseproof paper as well, as you can see there. And I'm going to get this onto a chopping board just to make it easier to cut into squares. You can cut this into whatever size squares you prefer. If you do very small squares, you'll get about 16 squares out of this, but we do like our tray bakes a bit on the bigger side, so I'm not going to get 16 out of this one, but you, like I said, can cut this into whatever size you prefer, and this will keep quite happily in an airtight container for about a week before it starts to go soggy and nasty. So it just depends how long it takes you to eat this. But it is lovely and very easy and kid friendly as well to get the kids involved in their first wee baking project. So thank you so much for watching, and a huge thank you as usual to the supporters of the channel over on my Patreon page, to the channel members here on YouTube as well, for those that have bought me a coffee using the Buy Me a Coffee link, for you all for watching and leaving your lovely comments, and for those that share the videos as well. And I will catch up with you back here on What's for Tea off soon. So take care and bye for now. Bye now.